Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're watching. It's your girl Choose here, and we are going to discuss Dalton, the township, but just really more of in a recap kind of way. We're going to take a look back at some things and hope to clarify some situations, including why I care and why I'm even here as well. Now, above all, my roots are there, period. And no, I'm not going to explain. And no, I'm not a resident at this time. And no, I don't want a job. And no, I'm not on anybody's side except the side of the community. Now, the backstory is really simple. Half of my family and friends all of a sudden started wanting to sell their houses throughout the township, and that's been going on for years since like 2008, 2009. Some of my family members have stayed in their homes, some of my friends have, some have sold their homes. And so years ago, and I would say 2015, I began watching the board meetings just on my own, not knowing anything like this would ever happen. And woo child, when I say anything like this, I mean outside of the whole Dalton debacle, but that normal, regular people would ask questions and seeing interactions that were going on, such as seeing that picture and asking a question, and then some kind of hell breaks loose, such as a person attempts to dox you, which we can get into if you want to, but that's not the purpose of this video. It didn't start with that. It started with this. Weird answers to questions. And of course, if you ask the wrong question in the Dalton Politics page, you get booted out. But when you see things like this and you can't respond to it, hey, what's better than to respond yourself? Allegedly, I am one of the first ones to have quote unquote flipped. I don't even know what that means because I was supporting everyone in this fight for Dalton. And so when I would see comments like these, it would point me in the other direction, the direction of watching the board meetings, looking up laws and ordinances, seeing what's really going on from a resident perspective. Things definitely were not adding up. And so that brings me to an oath of service that I made to the United States of America in 2009, that I would defend the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this oath freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help me God. I took that oath very seriously, and instead of taking a one-year oath, I took an oath for the rest of my life. Shout out my AmeriCorps alumni, because it takes a special kind of person to have to live in the poverty, work in the poverty, and build community within that community while living in it in a state of poverty. You got to be built for that, and that's why we don't have to beg and ask for resources, because we were trained to be and volunteer in service to a community, any community, because we understand that the community is the resource. You can't do nothing without the people. You can collect $1 billion and it can all fall apart without community. And this is partly what we're seeing in Dalton and the effort to reform the Southland, however that looks. I came to the table like everybody else. Like, why does she speak to them that way? And I have my theories on that, but that's for the next video. So unless you do research, you're going to feel like
Tiffany came in as a trustee, and I didn't like her. She know it. I'm bold at meetings. But she was so awesome. I had to bow down and get to know her.
I believe this is beautiful, because this is what we should do. Seek to understand before trying to be understood. And even if you don't like the person, research the facts, which we are about to get back into. So I went over this clip right here, and I'll be back with my commentary.
The one that you thought, oh man, I'm gonna groom you, you're gonna take my place, you're gonna be my ace boon coon and all of this stuff. Now she's speaking on a megaphone, and she in front of your meeting. Let me tell you how this villain arc story works. The very person that you brought in as your assistant now becomes the very one that is your undoing. A baby mama that you thought that's why I don't mentor everybody. I'll be seeing red flags from people. I'll be like, go ahead and block them. I don't want to be bothered. Block them. Because this very woman is going to become your undoing now.
I 100% agree with Anton Daniels, except it was not the person that was speaking on that megaphone, but absolutely the assistant, the chief of staff, your PR person. Isn't that your close person? That's the one who they would have brought in to help you, but instead of helping you within 3 months' time, it turned into what it is now, all for the sake of DOTTS. I think we have connected the dots.
Mayor, and there's no way in the world that they should vote you out because they didn't even show up to the polls because everybody said that their vote didn't count. And so I support you, Tiffany. I support you. I believe that she should serve her full term, that nobody should really remove her from office, and that the people over there don't deserve her because y'all didn't even show up in the first place. Let me read some of these.
You all gave YouTubers information. Now you're trying to blame it on one person when you know doggone well it was way more than one of you involved with that. Again, DOTTS. If y'all was following one person, that once again just shows that you all will follow anything. And lastly, we're waiting for any one of these accusations against Mayor Henyard, Supervisor Henyard, to become an actual tangible charge. She is not in jail, so how are we cleaning the house? Supervisor Henyard is not in jail, so how are we reforming the South? Ask the questions. Until next time, sending love and light.